All right. Back in the building. Back in the building. Shout out to everybody that's rocking out with us over here on the Black American Expat podcast channel. I decided to come back, give y'all a double dose this evening. I decided to come back with a double dose. Picking back a little bit on the conversation we had earlier. Hope everybody having a great evening. And I'm going to share with you this evening. I see I don't really have nobody in here. I think I got one person right now. I have a couple of people that popped in and out, but they'll be back. That's why sometimes I do long intro, let the music play. But I wanted to drop this before I lay it down. I'm not going to be up all night. I got to get up tomorrow and do my dizzle. So I hope y'all having a great evening. But I wanted to share this evening. I want to talk about how I displayed my resources in the state, but not abroad. I displayed my resources in the state, but not abroad. A lot of you guys listening right now, majority of you guys that are listening right now, you are probably in the United States, listening to this by way of the podcast on the YouTube channel. And I wanted to drop another. I'm already up. I was in the studio and I said, let me drop another one right here. Just want to pick it back a little bit off the last one and talk about how I displayed my resources in the United States, but I don't do that. I don't do that abroad. It's a whole different way, a whole different game. Now, when I lived in the United States, like a lot of you guys are listening, I mean, I had no other choice. You know what I'm saying? Like in the dating world, in the U.S., you got to be very competitive when you meet women and when you are dating women. They don't really want to be with a broke guy. And then there are broke guys that got the gift of gab, the Pookie and Ray Rays. They don't have, but they can sell a woman a dream. Sometimes they get guys like that can talk fast and got game, but majority of these women, like when they looking for men, they looking for men with resources. You got to be very competitive. You got to have something to offer, and you got to sometimes, like I said, be more than a D. All those things that we can bring the D and throw the D on them and get them. I hear that a whole lot. But sometimes a smart woman is gonna take more than that to keep her around. I mean, you might grasp a woman, get a woman that way, but then keeping a woman, that's a whole different story. But they'll move on to the next person. And I know, like when I live in the United States, I meet women, most of the time they ask questions. Like I know us being guys, most of the guys looking at the exterior, looking at the outside of the woman, looking at, oh, she got a big butt, oh, she got some big breasts. And that's mostly what we're looking at, but the women are totally different. The women are looking at, oh, you got a big D. I mean, that's a bonus, but I mean, the women, they looking at the tennis shoes you wearing or the shoes you wearing. They looking at how you dress, what name brand you wearing, like what kind of sweater that is you wearing. They ask questions because they're not just, they looking at something totally different. They looking at your resources. They looking at where you at most of the time, because most women anywhere in the world, third world country, or even in the United States, anywhere in the world, most of the time women looking for a man with security, one that can make them feel secure. Not a whole lot in these other countries, but they looking at that too. I'm gonna get into that. But in the United States, most of the time these women they looking at like I said, they looking at where you work, what you do for a living, where you live, all of that, sizing you up, sizing your resources up. So I mean, it was a whole different thing. Like in the U.S., I talked about earlier, where I used to buy the jewelry. I bought jewelry, and I didn't buy it just because, oh, that's a nice ring or nice watch. I knew that it would take, like, sometimes, like, women, they looking And oh, that's a nice ring. Oh, they looking at the jewelry and impress them. So it was just a little something to help me along the way while the other competitive people out there trying to shoot their shot. So in the United States, I pretty much showed my resources like a lot of you guys. I wasn't in a strip club making it rain. I wasn't throwing money up in the air or anything, but I always had a decent car. Uh, I always had like nice clothes and kept myself up like in a nice way, neat. I wasn't all thrown away, especially like in my work, in my profession, and all that. I kind of kept myself up. So I didn't just let myself go. So it was different in the United States. United States, in order to, like I said, impress women, they looking at your resources. They looking at what you got. So a lot of us in the United States, that's what we do. We flaunt our resources. We flaunt, like I said, we know driving that BMW, driving that Mercedes. I mean, women like that. They associate that kind of stuff with success in the United States. And you got people that have success in different ways. Some go to college and get business and do it that way. Then you got those, like I said, some of the Pook and Ray Ray, they might be dope boys, and a lot of women impressed with those kind of guys. So a lot of times, some of the educated guys, they in competition with some of these street thugs with no education, but they got resources. So a lot of times, the women in the U.S., they're going to go with the guys that got the biggest toys, So that's why it's different in the United States. Like, and sometimes the women don't be all of that. They be all right. They don't be all of that. And these guys be breaking their necks over these women. But a lot of times, like I said, in the U.S., I know the nature of men, and especially, like I said, when you're trying to get a quality woman, you got to be very competitive. And because like a lot of times in the U.S., it might be in one city, it might be 4 or 5, especially if it's a small city, it might be 4 or 5 fine girls, and everybody trying to get with those girls in particular. And a lot of times, like I said, it's just all about, like I said, the guy. Sometimes, like I said, if you got the gift of gab, it's different. They say you can talk, you know how to talk to a woman. You can, like I said, win her over in ways. But that was phased out soon. Sooner or later, if you're not bringing that to the table, you don't have anything, resources. That will soon play out. That's not gonna last long because one day the woman gonna look at you like another mouth to feed, like another responsibility, and then she's gonna start treating you that way. She's gonna start treating you like a child. And like I said, you don't have, so many guys don't have anything going, so they end up being a built-in babysitter watching her 3, 4 kids while she go to work, make all the money. I mean, that's not a situation or a place I would want to be, but that's how it is sometimes. But I know, like I said, in the U.S., and I wasn't, like I said, showing my money out of them, but the women can look and tell that this guy got something going for himself. The women that knew me, like I said, ones that knew me knew I had business or whatever, that's different. But like I said, you're on a whole different stature, a whole different level. In the U.S., when the women see that you got something, a whole lot to offer, that's the reality of it. But and like I said, I played that game for a little while, and then one day I woke up. I'm like, I didn't want to play that game anymore. I started traveling. I've been traveling for like over the last 5 years. And in the beginning of my travel, as I said on the last video, I bought a couple of, I bought some jewelry. I got Rose in the chat right now, shout out to Rose. I bought some jewelry over, and I mean, she can testify to this. I didn't really hardly wear the jewelry. I had the jewelry just sit in the closet because, I don't know, it's like my whole mindset changed. I said after traveling, because I began to realize really like this stuff have a whole different meaning. And, like I don't need all this now to impress a woman or to get a woman. I didn't need this name brand, that name brand, or I didn't have to drive this particular type of car because I didn't really have a car. So we called Grab and Uber and Jeep leasing. stuff like that. But I wasn't even trying to invest in a car. That wasn't important anymore. So I said it was a change. I said I didn't front because I began to realize I don't need all that extra stuff, and I don't need to be all extra about, especially trying to impress women, because sometimes they just looking at the simple things, and like it's not all about that. I mean, but they looking at you something. You gotta have something. I ain't saying you just broke. I mean, but you don't have to have like a lot as you would have to have in the United States to get a decent woman. I tell you guys all the time, take your time. Don't move fast. Uh, Move slow. Get to know these women. Don't just look at the outside and say, "Hey, oh, I want to marry her." 2 or 3 weeks later, because that's not love or anything. That's really lust. And that right there, my friend, is not gonna last. You're gonna be in a bad place, be hurt later. So you gotta move with precision. And I'll get into that too on another show. I'm moving with precision, being accurate. But I changed though. Like I said, overseas, I see I ain't got nobody really up in here. I'm gonna do it like 1,000 people up in here. It's a lot of live shows going on tonight. A lot of people doing live content tonight. So I was in the mood to do a little something. I wanted to drop this before I lay it down. But it was on my heart and I wanted to speak it. So some of you guys might relate to this about how I display my resources in the United States. I'm saying I wasn't making it rain, but I was being competitive and I wanted to represent like success and all of that to get. I said women, all that play a part with it. I said most of the women, like I said, I dealt with in the United States. I mean, a part of me hooking up with them. I mean, I'm not a bad looking person with her, but most of that didn't come from looks. A lot of that come from women seeing my success and seeing what love I was on. And like I said, it's kind of easier unless somebody came along with more money, more choice, and that's a different situation. But I've been very fortunate. But the game is played like different. Like when I started traveling, I left that mindset. I left that mindset behind. I left that mindset behind me. I changed and I learned a new way. And that's why now I travel. I'm okay with not wearing jewelry. I really don't feel comfortable. I said wearing jewelry because I know the risk in wearing the jewelry. And then, like I said, I don't really need jewelry to travel in the world, going to some of these countries, because it don't really take all that to, like I said, meet decent women, because most of the time they're looking for a decent guy. And this is all about, like I said, you meet them in a decent place. I'm not talking about going to the park or online or Tinder or none of that. I'm not saying all that, but I'm just saying, like, you out, you meet a traditional, authentic, local, they catch your eye and you, I mean, she might be looking at you also. You don't have to come with the jewelry. You can just be yourself, relax. Don't be stressed or worried. Even if she's not into you, she's not gonna do it in a bad way. She's not gonna diss you in the United States like how they do in the United States and cuss you out and just try to make you feel bad. I can pretty much say they'll let you down in the easy way. And if you got common sense, you already know if the woman not interested in you, she's not calling you or giving you the attention, and you should just put 2 and 2 and come up with 4. That's all I'm saying. I mean, some of you guys be acting a little slow though. That's a whole nother story too. Some of you guys be acting a little slow. Some of you guys, I mean, it could be right there that the woman not interested, but you're in a foreign country, man. It's a whole lot of beautiful women that you can find. Just let that one go, move on. But make sure you got chemistry. That'll be the magic to make it work. But it's a different way. And I changed a whole lot though. I can say that, but I realized through the traveling, I don't need this. I don't really wear. Like I said, it's very rare you see me wearing a watch. Okay, it's very rare you see me with a ring. They just don't feel. I don't feel comfortable wearing them no more. I don't see the need in it. Like I said, I might throw a watch on every now and then. I got a Casio watch I might throw on. Like if I'm going somewhere, just so I can just look down and keep up with time. Well, most of the time I'm looking on my cell phone in the time, but it just depends. But I don't really find comfort in the jewelry. It got a whole different feel when I wear it abroad because, like I said, back home I wore it. I knew it was gonna catch the attention of women, and I felt comfortable in the U.S. doing it because I knew my territory, I knew my environment, and it was a whole different situation. But abroad, a lot of times you're not gonna know, you're not gonna be aware of things, and then I don't want to draw any type of attention, so I don't try to be all extra. I try to keep a low profile. I try to move in silence and try to keep a very low profile. I don't want to be noticed. I don't want all of that attention. I'm not gonna be the one you'll see on YouTube throwing the money in there. I'm not no crazy foolishness like that because I know better. I know the consequences that come behind doing things like that. A lot of times, people that do these things, they not experienced. A lot of times, they just started out traveling and they just overwhelmed. I mean, they can't do this back home. I mean, they can't get them type of women back home. So a lot of times they get overwhelmed and just, like I said, do crazy things like that. Not knowing they putting themselves at risk, not knowing that these people can target you or rob you or kill you. I mean, they're not looking into that because they so overwhelmed and not seeing that you got people watching you. You putting yourself in danger. It's not a good look on us when you do these type of things. Sometimes it can be looked at a sign like of disrespect or you flaunting what you got. Sometimes it can be like a slap in the face saying I'm better than you, I got more than you got, or whatever. And a lot of times you'll find out that some of these people got pride. They're not gonna bow down. They're not gonna kiss your ass because you got money. If anything, sometimes they will set you up and make it end in a fatal way, in a bad way. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. You gotta just, like I said, use common sense. But like I said, I changed a whole lot of my travel. Traveling, you've been traveling for a good period of time, you will change. You're not gonna be the same person in the end. You're gonna change a lot. I have definitely changed throughout my travel. Like I said, when I first started, I had a little of that in me still of displaying stuff. After a while, after being like in the Philippines for a while, I mean, all that stuff just went out the door because I was hanging around common people, and the locals they don't carry themselves in that way. They don't act like that. So I didn't have that influence around me. Like every now and then, I might see expats that flying into the Philippines, like on a vacation holiday, and they may have that attitude. They might do that. I mean, a lot of time I bring it to their attention and let them know that like you shouldn't be wearing this in that area, and that this or that might happen, or you might give like put yourself in the idea to be a target, or robbed, even by that woman that still send somebody to get you too. So I mean, I just see it a different way. I see no really need in displaying jewelry. Uh, and I love everything in the U.S. I can bring that stuff with me because I know better. I don't really need that. I mean, it just sit around. It don't feel the same to me now. Whole different feel to it. And I learned, like I said, traveling. I'm not displaying things. I'm not flashy. I don't want that attention. I want to be low key. I just want to have a good time and have a good life and just be simple. It's like I said, the simple things I didn't enjoy back home, I try to do while I travel, while I live abroad. And a lot of times I can find myself doing these things at a fraction of what it would cost in the United States and also be more comfortable. So I'm good with that right there. I don't really, like I said, need to wear um, big flashy watch or the Rolex to get a woman attention because I can do the same here without the watch or anywhere in the Philippines. Like I said, I want you guys to know that like I said, especially the ones that just starting out. Uh, like I said, I know you come to see them making it rain on the videos and you want to be a big shot. But like I said, don't be foolish and put yourself at risk. It's not the behavior or the attitude you should have. Just relax and just take it all in. I know you're overwhelmed. You got these beautiful women around you. But, I mean, like I said, I know it might sound hard for you to believe this, but I mean, I've been traveling for 5 years, and I mean, I can tell you the best thing to do is be yourself, relax. I mean, you don't get this woman, you walk the next block to see one look 10 times better than that, 100 times better than that. I mean, all day long. There's a whole different way, a whole different feel, a whole different view out here. And like I said, I don't have to be flashy. I don't have to display or show off the material things because that's what it takes in the United States. So, all these women, like I said, you got to compete against the rappers and the NBA stars. I remember when I lived in Houston, I would always tell my friends the most beautiful women will always be at the Toyota Stadium at the Houston Rocket games. They go in there trying to score an athlete. They go in there trying to score and hit the lottery and hit it big time. And I mean, and that's what the competition a lot of times some of us face sometimes living like I live in the United States. I displayed to show girls my resources. I got this. I got this. I ride in Infinity. I ride in a BMW. I ride in a Mercedes. Because that's what it took to get, like I said, something where we so-called decent woman. Really, they gold diggers. Because somebody else will come along with more to offer, and then they'll leave you like a wet food stuff. So it's hard in a whole different way over there. And a lot of times, some of you brothers stake in the funk, and it's difficult. I mean, you gotta sell them a dream sometimes. Sometimes it ain't what it seemed to be in reality. Like they'll see that sometimes they'll get with you. So, oh, he got it like that, and somebody else got more, and then they'll bounce with that person. So it's different. Like I said, abroad, like I said, I seen women that look like 100 times better than some of the women I saw there. There I see brothers trying so hard for it. They don't really take all that. You don't have to, like I said, throw your money in the air, put out your bankroll, or be flashy or show I got this, I got that, because they don't really take that. Like I said, just be yourself and just relax. Don't be overwhelmed with the beauty, because, like I said, you got to leave your American ways back home, learn the culture of the place that you're going. And like I said, it's good if you know the language also. I mean, because like I said, even if you know the language, it's still gonna be a barrier because they're gonna be speaking slang sometimes, stuff that you're not gonna learn. Sometimes you gotta learn some of the local slang to speak Spanish, but it's a whole different way. So I don't have to really display anything. Like I said, I can relax and just be myself. No worries, no problemo. It's easy, an easy way, a more relaxed way. And I like it that way. Like I said, the only problem I would have, like I said, when it comes to meeting women, like I said, making sure they legit, sincere, and they make sure they're not running game. I mean, like I said, you're gonna run across that living abroad. But like I said, if you presenting yourself as a regular, simple person, you're not flashy, or showing her you got this and you got that, a lot of times you'll be okay. Like I said, because like I said, if it takes you to do this or do that, show the girl what you got, your resources, that might be the only reason she with you. But if you be yourself, like I said, and don't discuss your income or try to, I said, just look decent and be respectable, and that'll take you a long way. Everybody quiet up in the building this evening, so I had to drop a rolls in the building, man. I just had to drop that on you, a double whammy. Hope y'all have a great one. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share. Appreciate you guys coming through, stopping with me on this nightcap on the Black American SFAT broadcast. We did a double today. I didn't even see that coming. I didn't even plan on coming over here today or doing anything on the internet, but I don't know. I just felt like I had to speak on that a little bit. Like I said, after seeing what happened to my friend and talking to them and some more people, like I said, offline, just in me. And I wanted to share with you guys this evening. So, other than that, everybody, good evening. I'm about to get up out of here at 11:23 here, September the 16th on a Thursday evening. I just sit back, relax, drink me a cold beer, and lay down. All right, everybody, peace out. You hit the like button also. I appreciate that. It don't cost a penny to do that. It's free.